Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. Next match, Cross-Banlist capsule, last match here in the upper part. And then we've had all the decks from, I guess, a more balanced part of the Cross-Banlist Cup. So, next one. I feel, especially seeing at the votes, it's relatively close. We have Dino Rabbit deck from 2013, so that's like 12 years ago. It's going to take on OG Chaos. And as I've read, never underestimate Chaos. Banlist top deck, basically good stuff top deck, all the good cards from back in the day. 2004, it's going to take on Dino Rabbits. Again, what is it? There is a big difference. Most of the banned cards, it could definitely, stuff like, what is it, Dark Hole, Raigeki could be imported against something like Lagia or Tolka. But on the other hand, an Omni negation is super crucial. Can be really powerful against, especially against an older deck like Chaos. So, for me, I definitely felt like the same. What is it, 56 to 44% each, with, I guess, maybe even Chaos leading or Dino Rabbit leading. Going first is important for both decks, and at the same time, both decks having access to the going first, draw. So there is no disadvantage there. Anyway. So here, what I was saying, the Omni negation definitely hurts. I guess getting, I don't know, I guess there were like two cards that could force out a negation, and that was both Delinquent Duo and Dark Hole. Maybe I should have played it differently, like, going for Delinquent Duo first, trying to force out the Omni negation, and then Dark Hole. But seeing that there was Tour Guide as well, like, the duo was important, both were important. Like, the one of negation, it did far too much. Okay, so 1-0 behind. This hand though, this hand is sick, Pot of Greed into Graceful Charity, Holy Trinity from back in the day. Delinquent Duo was missing, but I mean, Confiscation definitely helps out as well. Getting a peek at their hand and then discard any random card. So we get information, that's the most important thing. And I think we saw Cross out as well, so we're not setting Sengen. The problem now, with the information that we know that there is one Cross out, Sengen, and I think the Kabazuls lens, I think we know it's a Forbidden Lens set. We definitely don't want to set a monster. It depends on the situation. It's looking at Reaper, for example, Spirit Reaper. So try to get something going with the Heavy Storm, the Pro Storm for back in the day. Crossout was there, and Order, I guess, forces that one out. So now later in the duel, I could potentially set a monster, give up my Order, and not risking the normal line of Crossout, right? Dolga could be an issue, because I already... could be an issue with all those monster effects, right? So there are outs, there are definitely outs for Dolga, and here is, the Order was important to forcing out that, that Crossout. Emperor is definitely one of my outs, and on top of that, I can, I guess, make use of one of the best tactics of Chaos, if you can call it, if you can call it a tactic, poking with stuff like Spirit Reaper, Yata, speaking of Yata, Yata Lock, into an empty field, and your broken spells, your broken cards, they facilitate that. They facilitate the Reaper attacking directly. They facilitate, the Yata from attacking directly. And here in this case, Yata Lock takes it. So really nice. Alright. So game number 3, it's going well back and forth. The deck going first is important. Here this is a mediocre hand. Too many monsters, but I mean, I definitely needed that Mirage from going through. Sadly, no back row. They do take the risk of, torrential Mirror Force. I guess you could definitely go for it with that Book of Moon, with that Monster Reborn. Getting 2 dinosaurs on field is so crucial. The Lagia again. So it could negate a summon, it could negate a ring. Guaiba is super strong against this deck. They keep drawing those normals. Did they... they knew the Reaper. Right? I think I searched it from Sangen. So them going for Papilloperative, putting the face down monster into attack position, lower its attack, what is it, by 800? Something like that. Yeah, they can just go for game, even though Spirit Reaper cannot be destroyed by battle. So this is again an okay hand. We get free information about our hand, that's much more important. Seeing, thanks to Confiscation, and I think discarding Phoenix Chain, basically an Imperm. Almost Imperm. Fogblade, I guess. But they drew another one, so sadly can't go for Yata, and set 3. Because I don't think we have to fear big disruption. We do go for Mirror Force. I think it's fine because again, letting them keep at least one level 4 on field means that they could go for an on-negation, right? Lagia Dolka, probably Lagia, especially with those back rows. So we draw Breaker. I guess we know that there's a Bottomless, but I mean either way, we could commit with Breaker, force out Bottomless, and just slowly pick away their resources. But I guess on the other hand, me drawing Duster or something like that could be an option. That would free Yata as well, and then Yata could poke for probably game if I drew like Duster. Dimensional Prison, right? Dimensional Prison, yeah, that's sneaky. But the Crush card, pre-errata Crush card says no, and you know, Crush card pre-errata against most decks, old school decks, it hurts. Against most decks actually, it hurts a lot. It's those stronger monsters, plus gets information about their hand. That's how strong, you know, pre-errata Crush card is or was. So this is, I guess, you know, Dino Rabbit's like a stun deck, and you know, like them drawing spells, traps, always the case. So I guess it's just waiting. Wait on Duster, wait on Heavy. I don't think they have been activated yet in this particular duel, but I might have missed that one. They hit, the Torrential. That's fine-ish. I think my set assigned this still there because of the Crush card earlier. And okay, yeah, right, you got this information about Crush, and they drew Thunder King after the third turn, you know, both Crush cards. So this is fine-ish. You know, we can flip over Scientist. I don't think we don't have a light in the graveyard, so the BLS is not live. Them drawing another T-King kinda hurts, because again, still no light. If I would have had a light, I can, you know, draw BLS. They could tribute their Thunder King, you know how it goes. We do take the small risk of setting DD Warrior Lady, but I mean, it kind of forces them to attack into my set, right? Not risking summoning into a Bottomless or something like that. Here it is. Finally, you know, gaining momentum with my board wipes, the power spells, Duster, you know, Heavy Storm, stuff like that. Saying, and it's fine, you know, Demok is a terrible draw, but I think we're setting the Sinister Serpent, yeah, for, I mean, I guess defense. And we still don't have a light, right? A Guaiba would have been terrible for me, imagine. But them setting, you know, could be Reaper. I think Reaper's at 2 in the list, unless it's side-decked out. Post-game number 1. Painful choice, that's delicious. So, I guess getting rid of the bricks from the deck, plus potentially fueling Demok, fueling the Magician of Fate. So let's see how we're playing this one out. And this should be game, right? Yeah, we can tribute for Demok, go for Geki, and then draw BLS. We finally have a light, so 2-2. But I mean, you know, as mentioned before, this felt like this particular match would end in like a 5-gamer. So this is much better, like Dino Rabbit setting, at least going for Lagia or Dolka, probably Lagia, and then setting just one, you know, not losing to a big Heavy Storm, big Duster, or are being forced to use like Lagia on Harpy's Feather Duster when you have like 2 sets. And this kind of sucks, not going to lie. What can I get back? Like Typhoon, I already have Duster. Confiscation, maybe. The problem is they top decked that sneaky Thunder King again, and Thunder King prevents Painful Choice, because I can't add the card. Because if it wasn't for Thunder King, I would have, you know, like showed 5 broken cards, because again, your opponent is forced to pick one. So sadly, that's not the case, and on top of that, finally they can go for Torghite into Rabbit, the OG play from back then, and that's more than enough, right? Dolka, Lagia. So sadly, nothing I could have done about this. But I feel that going first was important. But again, both decks felt relatively the same, even though there was like a big gap between both decks. So 2 matches remaining, and then back to the beginning. The next one, I think, is our 2 title candidates. Snake Eyes Fire King Azamina is going to take on Ishizu Tearlament, the winner of last year. So feel free to leave your predictions. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Riddim signing out. Peace.